Yes, I am here. I am back. How is everybody doing? Big up. Welcome back to United View. We are back for another match view. It is, look at this. Straight away. I've only just started. I literally have just played the intro and already, I've got some breaking news. We've got some breaking news. I'm going to press the button. This is quite pertinent, is it not?
Breaking news.
And a bit of breaking news, just as I'm live, just as I'm doing my intro, and the breaking news is that the favourites, seemingly to sign Michael Olise, Chelsea, are no longer the favourites because, according to David Ornstein, in an exclusive broken in the last 60 seconds, Chelsea have withdrawn from the race to sign Crystal Palace winger Michael Olise. Chelsea had talks with Crystal Palace and the 22-year-old, but felt finances involved beyond reach. Instead, planned to reward existing players and new recruits, expected to add two new attackers. So that is a bit of developing and breaking news, is that Michael Olise is now no longer going to Chelsea. Doesn't say what's going to happen about him, doesn't say whether he's going to go to Manchester United, doesn't mean he's going to be going to Newcastle. I think Bayern Munich are also interested in him, but what it does say is that he is no longer going to Chelsea, and it is something actually that I had kind of brought up. Was it earlier on today? I think it might have been earlier on today. That when the news came out, I think it was Fabrizio Romano saying that Crystal Palace had offered a new contract to Michael Olise, improved wages, improved salary, and a new release clause. I kind of thought about it at the time. I thought, okay, what does that? Can we rule out the possibility that he sticks around? He stays at Crystal Palace, and I think the answer is we can't rule that out. And if he stays at Crystal Palace for another season, and there's another release clause, I think that would put Manchester United in real strong pole position to sign him next year. I think this year, I just didn't feel like it was going to happen because it's not really a priority signing for us this season. But now he could have another season at Palace, and maybe, just maybe, Manchester United go back in for him next season. So that is a bit of big breaking news, big development, because it felt like, certainly, didn't it, that Chelsea were the favourites, and now not so much. Again, what that means for Manchester United, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let me see if I can actually get the article in question up. And see, and again, really see what if there's any mentions, because sometimes you kind of get lost in the headline, but sometimes you have to actually look at the sometimes you have to look at what else is in the article. So once again, Chelsea have pulled out of the process to sign winger Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. The West London side contacted Palace last Thursday to express an interest in Olise and requested permission to speak with his camp. That was granted, and Chelsea indicated they wanted an outcome by the end of this week. Chelsea made what they believed to be their strongest offer, but felt the finances involved were beyond reach and chose not to proceed. I then talk about the wage bill, blah, blah, blah. So there's actually no reference to Manchester United at all in that article, but certainly is a big news story there, and it's going to be interesting to see, as I mentioned, what that's going to mean about Manchester United's interest in him, because we do know that Manchester United are interested, but we don't know if the finances are out of reach for Chelsea. What does that mean about the finances for Manchester United? Who knows? Yes, let me just put that there. And just as you think, just when you think that you're going to be talking exclusively about the football, things change and evolve very, very fast. So yes, if you are just joining us once again, that breaking news this evening, which is, I suppose, sort of fringe related to Manchester United, is that Manchester United reported target Michael Olise is no longer going to Chelsea. Chelsea have pulled out of the process to sign the Crystal Palace winger, as they feel that the finances are out of their reach. Again, a big story. If we get any more details on that whilst I'm live, I of course will we'll let you know. That's the beauty about being live. You can react to these things in real time. So let me just make sure I got that there. There you go. See a lot of people are saying in the chat about it because it's developed one. Big up Dan Mazing. He's one of the members on my channel, Wrestle News 365 555. Big up to you. What else are people saying here? SLT says Owen still didn't apologise to KG. Fucking disgrace. I like it. Jason says Owen, that Trinity pod was absolute fire. Big up. It is my favourite show to do, the Trinity. I love the Trinity, doing it every single week. You guys seem to really enjoy it. It's also what's really fun about that is obviously we talk about football and obviously we get serious and we talk about all things Manchester United. But what I really like about that is it's got the potential to drift anywhere and talk about anything. And today, that's probably the most that show has probably drifted is the first 30 minutes. We were talking about football and talking about Manchester United, but it snowballed, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm glad you guys really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to put together. But legitimately, I didn't. When I saw that KG was sick today, he was ill. I was like, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that because I feel bad whenever someone's ill. Because I know what it's like to be ill and it's just rubbish. But he gave the go ahead. So did Flex. So. Hey, you got to defend yourself, got to fight your corner. I say you got to tuck your chin, bob and weave, all that kind of stuff. So yes, big up to everyone. Lots of people enjoyed that. If you haven't watched it, then indeed go and watch it after this. Every Friday, the times at the moment are a little bit off because of the football, because of the games at the Euros. Usually, it's every Friday. It's every Friday at 6. Today was a little bit later, just after the Austria game, which was a great game too, by the way. So yeah, timings at the moment for some things are kind of all over the place because we want to make sure that you guys can watch the football if indeed that's what you want to do. So yeah, but big up to everyone. Big up to everyone that enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And like I said, you gotta fight your corner. Got to defend yourself. People throw accusations out there. You got to say, okay, you've thrown some accusations. Let's go and see if the evidence. If the evidence backs this one up, and I think it didn't. But yes, there you go. Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted as well about Michael Olise, saying Chelsea have decided to leave the race for Michael Olise after Palace offering a new deal and high finances or financial requests. Chelsea decided to withdraw. Deal currently off, as David Ornstein called. Bayern and Newcastle are also speaking to Olise. Man United remain keen. So possibly, I suppose, Bayern or Newcastle. I don't know how Newcastle would pull that one off. I mean, their finances are very, very tight unless... I mean, there is a rumour, isn't there, that possibly Man City could trigger the release clause for Bruno Guimaraes. And by the way, how many midfielders are Manchester City going through? I mean, every single season, whether they're getting Grealish, whether they're getting Kovacic, whether they're getting whoever, every single season, they're getting buying a new multi-million Nunez as well. Every season they're getting a brand new central midfielder that's not really working out. Very interesting, that one, isn't it? Players are currently in the tunnel. Of course, we are here to watch Netherlands versus France. A massive game, a really exciting game this. I'll get the team news actually up in front of me so I can read out the teams for you. And also so I can have it so we can have some stats during the game. You know how it goes on these Euro 2024 match views. It'd be good if I could spell the Netherlands. There you go. Netherlands, France. So in terms of the teams, for the Netherlands in goal, they've got Verbruggen, Dumfries, Stefan de Vrij, Virgil van Dijk, and Ake as the back four. In front of them, they've got Schouten and Reinders. Bit of a change. Frimpong comes in this time. He's in the team. Xavi Simons is also in the 10. Cody Gakpo is out wide. Memphis Depay through the middle. In terms of the French team, they've got Magic Mike in goal. Left back Theo Hernandez, who was really, really good. I was really impressed by him in their first game. The back four remains the same. Saliba, Upamecano and Koundé. In front of them, the midfield three have Rabiot, Chouamini and N'Golo Kante, who was spectacular, wasn't he? Really rolled back the years in France's first game. And the front three consist of Thuram, Griezmann and Ousmane Dembele. So Chouamini comes in for Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is on the bench, of course, recovering from that broken nose. If he does come on, he'll be be wearing a mask. It's not the mask he wore in the warm-ups in the training the other day. Of course, that went round all over social media. That was a very marketed mask, it must be said. It had the French flag on it. It had the French logo. It had the Kylian Mbappe insignia on there. But due to UEFA regulations, any protective gear or medical apparatus you have to wear during the game could only be one color. So no French masks, no Mbappe masks, but I think they're going to be selling Mbappe masks, aren't they? I mean, imagine, France go on to win this whole tournament. Mbappe must be selling like, hotcakes, wouldn't they? That's just how it is. That's football. What people are saying here in the chat, though, big up to everyone, lots of people, good vibes this evening. SLD says Mbappe knows no bounds. Look at that, there you go. Austin Baker says, I need some evidence for the American coverage. Oh, my, have you seen that clip? Talking about, what was it, Messi? Is it Maradona? And then that sort of devolved into Pulisic. Christian Pulisic is coming up. Sorry? Pulisic. Pulisic.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it was very odd. Wasn't sure about that one. The Red Devil says, love from Cape Town, Owen Ten Hag. Javid says, good evening, Owen and UV fam. Big up to you. Red Devils 99. No Veghorst. I know. Wout came on, scored. I mean, Memphis Depay didn't do all that much in the last game, did he? I mean, Cody Gakpo looked a bit of a threat. Xavi Simons was also actually quite disappointing. I expected more from him. I mean, for large portions of the game, I did think the Netherlands were actually quite disappointing. But Wout came on, got his goal because that's what he does. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. As a chance of Holland, I think it sounds to me like there's a large Netherlands contingent in Germany this evening. Super chat from Red Baron says, please stick it to Just Josh regarding Poland. Well, yes, Polska did not go out. Do you know what, actually? Do we send him a voice note now? I'll do that for you, Red Baron, considering it was a super chat. There you go. Right. Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja. I am live on United View right now as we speak. I just got a super chat from Red Baron who said, please stick it to Just Josh regarding Poland. So just passing on the message. He can respond to that one later on. There you go. Oh, Anthony Taylor's the referee. Well, some people have been praising refereeing at this European Championship tournament. Prepare for that to crash this evening. And take a steep nosedive of how it's going to be. Captains for the evening, Virgil van Dijk and Antoine Griezmann. Of course, Van Dijk is the Netherlands captain. Mbappe is the regular captain for Les Bleus. But he's on the bench. The bird on the French kit is absolutely ginormous, isn't it? But Griezmann wears the armband this evening. I thought he played all right in the first game. Araya says Ranić may win the tournament. Austria were impressive in their first game against France. So it wasn't that much of a shock today to see them be so good. They've been good for a long time under Ralph. Since Ralph went there at the end of his Man United tenure, they've done really, really well. So big up to him. They play good stuff too. And he's clearly got a good bond, a good connection with that group. So he's done a terrific job. And we're going to get, I believe, a moment of applause. Oh, I've got a response from Just Josh. The problem is with him, it might not be very PG. Let me check. Because you know what he's like. I'll listen to it muted first. It passes the Just Josh test. I mean, you never know. You never know. He can. he's the one person that scares KG, by the way. We'll wait for the countdown. Then once I press the timer, I'll play it. 1. And we're off. It's underway. Right, this is what Just Josh said.
Well, Red Baron, yeah. Take the red out of your name and take the Baron out of your name, yeah? Because Red Barons are Polish. Get out of here, yeah? And whatever. We always lose with shit, innit? Whatever it is, what it is. It's calm, innit? Whatever, I'm just waiting for England to fail like they always do. And Red Baron, who do you even support, fam? You support England? I don't care. Whatever. England is shit anyway, so whatever, innit? Fuck England. The end.
Doesn't seem very happy, does he? He was a little upset. The Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja. But that's it, like, don't think that's just because they're not here. Oh, I tell you what, it's through on goal. It's through on goal. Frimpong. Oh, Manyan, Magic Mike with a magic right hand. Tips it wide of the post. As Ali McCoy said, magic. And he just kind of scuffs it in the end. Let's have a look. Well, gets a deflection. And actually, it's a really important touch. And might be nestling just in the corner. There's a brilliant turn of pace by Frimpong. He is rapid. And Teo Hernandez is down. What a shame that would be. Top player. Manchester United, put a bit in. I think he's going to be okay. I was just thinking about the national anthems as they were playing earlier on, by the way. Who do you think has the best national anthem? Let me know in the chat. Who has the best? Like, put, impartial, put it to one side, wherever you're from, whatever country you're from. Who has the best national anthem where you go, that's a good national anthem? Let me know in the chat. Memphis Depay. Ball in. Ake gets the head to it. That's a foul. Edge of the box. I'll let you get some replies in the chat. And of course it doesn't... oh my goodness me. Some more breaking news. Even more breaking news.
Breaking news.
Well, we spoke earlier on about Michael Olise and that Chelsea have withdrawn from the race to sign the Crystal Palace winger. And Michael Olise has chosen to move to a new club. Michael Olise has chosen to join Bayern Munich. FC Bayern are among 3 clubs, plus Chelsea and Newcastle, to contact Crystal Palace last week and now expected to agree a deal with the Crystal Palace winger, whose contract includes a release clause. So it's now being reported by David Ornstein in an update from the story that came out just, 10-15 minutes ago, that Michael Olise is set to join Bayern Munich. He has chosen to join FC Bayern. Wow, 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 to quote Just Josh Media. So, Manchester United, I don't even think they were really in that race. But the story develops. The story develops. Olise on his way. Oh, he's through on goal. Rabiot. Oh, good save by Verbruggen. Can I also just say, what was, I believe, to be completely shameless was people that were 2 years ago saying that they didn't want Rabiot because he'd asked for too much wages and his mother, as his agent, was a bit of a pain, saying after that performance in France's first game that they'd want him again with the same wages and the same agent. Very interesting, that one. Thought that was rather curious. Nothing wrong with changing a mind, of course. Nothing wrong with that. But that's the important caveat, isn't it, with all that? And that's going to be a play on by Anthony Taylor. Switch all the way to Gakpo. It's got to go out for a throw-in. A throw-in to Les Bleus, who aren't playing in blue this evening. But yes, that's the... well, at least there's no more Olise speculation this season. And what I don't want to see either is the Manchester United freakouts. You know what I mean? We're not getting Olise! We've screwed it up! Why are we not doing this? Doesn't look like we were ever really in the race, does it? And it's not a priority position for us. But it's a good signing by Bayern Munich, definitely. Vincent Kompany. Making sure he's got company in Munich. From the Premier League. N'Golo Kanté. Koundé, ball in. Cleared by Virgil van Dijk. Show says the season is already over. We've missed out. Why are we missing out on Olise? Even though we said 3 weeks ago that he wasn't a priority position and we needed other positions, we've missed out because we were linked to him. That means we were definitely in. That means we definitely made bids and got turned down. That definitely happened. Why are we overspending and actually not spending 70 million or 60 million, whatever the release clause is? It's always the freak out, isn't it? The release clause 60 million. We can't spend 60 million. We don't get him. Why don't we spend 60 million? Good move for Bayern. And look, they've got great players in their team. My goodness me. Musiala, Harry Kane. Which even, to be honest, the narrative surrounding Harry Kane in the last 24 hours, I think is a bit wild. Like I saw, who was it? Was it Culture Cams? Harry Kane should never go to another major tournament again. Are we really watching that England performance? With Gareth Southgate in the dugout on the touchline. And the conclusion we're coming to is that Harry Kane's the problem. Is that what we're doing? Whilst Trent's in midfield. And players are out of position. Is that the direction that we're going in? My word. Simons, he's in the box. Good feet. Memphis tries to spin. He looked for a penalty he was never going to get. Anthony Taylor says, no. No way. It never was a pen. Red Baron says, Lamine Yamal coming in. Imagine. I don't think so. I don't think that one's going to happen. He just tries to spin past Saliba. Depay, it's not what it is. As Jonathan says, Kane blame. Yeah, I mean, look, Harry Kane has barely touched the ball. It just, again, it looks like it's the tactical setup's just all wrong with England, isn't it? Tactical setup's all wrong. But I'm a bit uncomfortable, you know. England's record top goal scorer and captain, who's still in his prime, by the way, and has scored, was he the most goals? Did he get European Golden Boot this season or something? It's his fault. Even though he scored in that game. Ball given away. Dembele. Oof, good tackle. Look at that. By Frimpong. Now Depay. I don't know about that switch to Ake. Put him under pressure. Simons. Wins the foul. Of course, Xavi Simons seemingly available for loan once again this season. Last season was at Leipzig. Cody Gakpo. Flicks. Oh, nearly goes through to Memphis. I'd take Xavi Simons on loan. If the budget is as tight as it's reported to be, take him. Reinders. Bear in mind as well that we're not going to hit every target position that we want to this summer. The funds are going to be a bit tight. We don't even have all of the proper recruitment people in yet. So recruit for a few key positions. If you can be a bit smart, get a couple of loans. Maybe a free transfer too. Do that. Be smart. Don't overspend. Think with future windows in mind. Maybe even, if it's not there, spend wisely. And maybe, now this would be a novelty. Maybe we could, spend in January. If we don't overspend massively and break the budget like we always do and go into January and next season's budget, maybe if an opportunity comes up in January, we can go, actually, we'll go for that player. Because players always become available around that time of the year for whatever reason. And that can change your season. And maybe we do that. As opposed to, overspend on an average player in the summer and then go, well, that's taken a chunk out of January next season. Ball over the top to Dumfries, but it's been given a foul. I didn't see what everyone was saying about the national anthem, by the way. So put that back in because all the honesty stuff happened. Show says spend in January. How dare you, Owen? Jason says, Owen, we don't do January. I know, work. Imagine that. They're still on their Christmas, holidays at that point. No, we don't. Let's not. We're not going to. That's not going to happen. But yeah, because there's every transfer window, there's a pool of players that become available for, fallouts or contracts or whatever. Red Baron says Spain. Jason says Italy. Javid says Italia. Italy's got a very strong national anthem, doesn't it? Very strong. Show says Wakanda. Yeah. Strong vibranium. That's what it is. Dembele. Red Baron says England's is boring. Do you know what the funny thing with England's national anthem is? Every single tournament, every single international game, ball in. Oh, it's a good ball by Koundé. Griezmann just flicks it on. Excuse me. Is that it's always completely out of sync with the music. It's always like totally out of sync. People aren't sure what part of it they're in, and they still get it wrong, obviously. And whether or not people sing goes in and out of sort of vogue, doesn't it? Oh, good reverse pass. Here's Koundé. Ball into the box. Headed away by De Vrij. Because I remember in the sort of mid-2000s, it was very common for nobody to sing, oh, brilliant goal if it goes in. Oh, no, they've overplayed it. He slipped. It got stuck under his feet. I already said brilliant goal. I thought it would be sensational. The build-up play is spectacular by France. I don't know why Rabiot has decided to pass it to Griezmann. That is insane. Rabiot's throw on goal. You go and just take the shot. You're going to pass it into the net. And he goes to pass it to Griezmann. And Griezmann looks like he's stunned by it. He goes all sort of Bambi-like. He does the splits. Another ball in Griezmann. Oh, that's wide. Wow, what a chance. And what a miss. They're showing that chance. Show the real chance. I want to see the back heel. There was a back heel here. Look at that. Brilliant back heel. Is it Tchouaméni with the back heel? And it goes to Rabiot. You can just take the shot. And he tries to put it across to Griezmann and it's behind him and then he slips and then he doesn't know what's going on. But what a chance. What a let-off for the Netherlands. And what a miss. That's the problem with Arsenal. They try and walk it in. Do you see that ludicrous display last night? What was Wenger thinking? Taking off, is it Walcott they said it? What was Wenger thinking? Taking off Walcott like that? Well, that's the problem with Arsenal. They always try and walk it in. If people know, you know. And now it's De Vrij. Switches over to Virgil van Dijk. Cowboy says we might get Schneider this summer. That or Gaetan. Going to be probably him or Gaetan, hopefully, eventually. Failing that, Milinkovic-Savic will probably come across. Every summer. Or to be honest, Frankie de Jong's in that territory now, isn't it? The Wesley Sneijder, Gaetan, Milinkovic-Savic, Frankie de Jong is in that territory. Legitimately. Every single time there is a story that says, oh, Frankie de Jong might be up for sale this summer, immediately everyone starts going, oh, Frankie de Jong, would you? It's not even a case of would you. He doesn't want to. It's not on us. Cody Gakpo running into the box, cuts inside. He's got some space there. Shoots. Oh, it's a good save by Magic Mike. Mania. Look at this. I mean, he can't really see as well. You can see him actually looking past Upamecano. It's a good save. It's a save he should make. If it went in, you'd be asking questions, but he's a top goalkeeper. Magic Mike, isn't he? Composed, good shot stopper. This is going to be a corner. Memphis Depay is going to take it. It's a looper. It's a poor one, actually, really. Reiners has it. But this game's got a good tempo to it, good pace. And it goes all the way back to Verbruggen. Bandil says Magic Mike is wild, Owen. Well, Bandil, if you know, you know. For all of the hardcore viewers of the Flagy Fever career mode, you'll know he was a big signing for Flex and KG. To be honest, saved their Man United career for at least a season until they eventually did get the sack. Deservedly so, because they were shit. I mean, there's no way of dressing it up, but they were poor. And the sort of way they would go was also pretty wild. Oh, great one too. N'Golo Conte. Griezmann passes out wide to Theo Hernandez. And that's going to go for a corner. But yeah, they would start out well, and then they would end up towards the end of their sort of session that day, end up losing three or four games in a row, or they would just completely collapse and be like, we got to stop playing. And then the funny story about that is I'd arrive at the studio afterwards, and the tension would be palpable in the room after that one. Good times. Going to be a corner. Antoine Griezmann to take. Ball in. Headed away. And that goes out for a Netherlands throw-in. Nearly 19 minutes gone. 0-0. Where is this game? In Germany. In Leipzig. At the is it RB Arena, RB Stadium? The Red Bull Arena Leipzig, excuse me, to give it its full title. And now France with a bit of possession. Upamecano. SLD says Flex has his Conte shirt on. He's a big fan. He played very well. Can't deny that. Koundé. Ousmane Dembele. Thought about a switch. Decided against it. Here is Conte. Look at him travelling with the ball. He looks dangerous, doesn't he? Oh, he looked for Thuram, I think it was. It was just intercepted. And now France just starting to get control of the game. Just starting to get a grip of it. The Netherlands started pretty well, had that opportunity or a couple of opportunities early on, and now France are just starting to get possession, force Netherlands to sit back in their shape and waiting for those openings. Why, of course, it was so critical, so crucial that the Netherlands won their first game, which wasn't easy by any stretch against Poland. And really, I tell you what will be a really good game. The Netherlands versus Austria in round 3 of the group stage. That's going to be a heck of a game, isn't it? That'll be pretty close, pretty intense. I look forward to it. I mean, once they get to those sort of final group stage games where they both kick off at the same time, the drama involved in that. Of course, the knockout stages too. A lot of fun. Good touch by Thuram. Look at that. Rabiot. Back to Thuram. Reverse pass. Rabiot. That's going to go out for a goal kick or a corner? Goal kick. Show says, why is the chicken on the France shirt so big? Sounds like the beginning of a joke. It's not. It's a legitimate question. I don't know. I think just in general, have badges on shirts just got considerably bigger over the last, shall we say, 10 years, 15 years? I mean, for instance, the Manchester United badge, I know for a fact, has got considerably larger than it ever used to be. I remember back in the day, didn't used to be that big. Now it's like that. It's huge. I don't know why that is the case. Probably for branding and marketing purposes. But now they're massive. Koundé, look at that good header back to the goalkeeper. But it is considerably large, isn't it? Here's Koundé. Which I suppose also, talking about kits, raises the question, if you had to pick one, now this is very, very tough question here, but if you had to pick one football kit that you have to wear, one football shirt that you have to wear until the end of time, which football shirt would it be? What's the best? What's the elite of the elite? The GOAT? What is that shirt for you? I've got a soft spot for Manchester United 2008. And I think that's just because, obviously, won Champions League, legitimately best team in the world. I just love that kit with the white stripe down the back. And even the other versions that we had, like that away kit that season, the black one with the white stripe down the back. It was good. Love that kit. Still got it. I've got a couple of versions of it actually as well. I'm a big fan. That would probably be my one, which I suppose there's loads of them. And it doesn't have to be Man United, could be your country. I mean, is there an England kit I really love? There was an England red kit. I tell you what I did have actually. I did have it was a replica, obviously, but I had a replica of the World Cup '66 England kit, the red one, and it was the same kind of material, like the very thick material. It actually worked quite well as like a bedtime top, and I loved that. I loved wearing that. So that was a proper kit. You know, it's not the same as modern day football kits by any stretch, but I did have a version of that, which was pretty awesome. Motto Green says Barca Brazil. Show says 91-92 Adidas original home shirt. Linda says United 06-07. Which one is that? Is that the one where it was a Man United badge and around it there was like a white frame? I think that one was. And when they played in the Champions League, I think the writing on the back was gold, wasn't it? I think. Javid says Maradona Argentina away. SLD says the Cameroon kit that got banned was good. Do you remember that? Heading into, what was that, 2002, that World Cup in South Korea, I think. I think that was that one that got banned. Chris says the sharp view cam with the collar was a nice 190s. Javid says Italia 2020 home. Wow. Linda Brazil 98. Reggae Boys. Yeah, there's been some nice ones. I mean, what is it? To be fair, was it Nigeria in recent years? I've had some really, really nice kits. They've had some really nice ones. Have you seen the Jamaica away shirt that's just been released by Adidas? That's pretty good. I'm just having a look at that now. That's an Adidas one. There was, what year was this? Was this 2000? Or was it 2001? There was the one when it was like it was an anniversary kit and it turned inside out. I don't know if you ever guys had this. I think the natural, let's see this one play out. Cody Gakpo's into the box, cuts back inside. He's looking for Memphis, pass it, goes out for a goal kick. There was the one where it was white but it was reversible. And then when you reversed it into like the third kit, it became gold. Man United reversible kit. I want to say it's 2000. 0102. That's the one I'm on about. Yeah. And it was reversible. I wasn't that big on the gold version, though. It always reminds me when we lost at Highbury and Beckham did the pass to Barthez and he does the shitty kick. But I like the white version. The white version was nice. There's just something about a good kit, isn't it? There's something about a good kit. If it's well done, a good shirt, if it's well done. There's nothing worse than a really shitty shirt. Although I was a fan of the one with the collar we had 2 seasons ago in Eric's first season. I was a big fan of that. I liked that kit a lot. Not so much this season. I wasn't that big on this one this time round. And I never want to see that green kit again because we just never used to win in it. We used to always lose. Rhiners. Gakpo. Simon's Gakpo again. Rhiners, he's going to have a shot. Blocked. Keeper will claim it. And it's nearly 28 minutes gone, still 0-0. What are the stats saying? Let's have a look at some stats. France, as you would expect, he's in behind here. Thuram, he's got to be offside. Shoots. And did the flag come up? He's onside. He's miles onside. I tell you what, that's a chance for Thuram. He's really far on. And he just, that's so wasteful. Get it on target. My goodness me, what a waste. Wouldn't have taken the technology anytime. Miles on. What else people saying? Still people talking about kits. My style advisor says the zebra kit. I was not a fan. Was not a fan of that at all. Red Baron says, does nostalgia play a key role? Well, what does help and what can take a kit really over the top, isn't it? That if you're really successful in that kit, then if it's already nice and you've already got a strong feeling about it, then that can take it over the top, can't it? Which I think is why I've got such an affinity for the 08, 09, or it's really 07, 08, isn't it? They use it for 2 seasons. That kit, the sort of red Nike one with the white stripe, I think that does play a big part in it. So that's probably fair. Show says Google Atletico Mineiro fan design kit. I've got that one. I will have a look. Atletico Mineiro fan design kit. Oh, look at that. It's very detailed, isn't it? Look at that. It's got a map. Yeah. I like that. I like that. That's a foul. As we're in the 30th minute. About 15 minutes remain to half time. Jason said, love the blue kit from the 08-09 season. I think, again, that season, its success does help, but all the kits were just nice, weren't they? Again, the red version, the black version, the blue version, they just kind of had it. They were just all good. They were all good that year. And Man United was good that year. Best team in the world. And you could have got that shirt with the Club World Cup badges on, couldn't you? World champions. Yeah. That's it's a top kit. As far as an international kit, I had when I was little, and I think this is the only reason I've got an affinity for this. I had an England red kit that I think was in 99. Maybe. Which one was it? Was it that one? Or it might have been 2000. Blocked by Rabiot. I know that I had a red one in the late 90s that I just liked wearing. And that's a yellow card for shooting. I mean, England had a run in the 2000s of some pretty bad kits. I liked Euro 2004. I liked that one. World Cup 2006 with a flag on the shoulder. I was a fan of that. And then after that, they kind of blurred together for me. I can't really recall many. They kind of all looked a bit the same. Although the one we had at the last Euros, that was a throwback to Euro 96. I liked that one. The Euro 2010 England kit. I liked that. Anything that plays on nostalgia, I suppose. Pass to Rabiot. Goes down. It's not a foul. Memphis Depay wins it back. Here we go. Counter-attack's on. Oh, you've wasted it, Memphis. Netherlands might have it back. No, Griezmann wins it. And Chouameni now has it. Looking for some options. SLD says, does Southgate design the England kits? Well, if they're completely bland and full of creativity, then possibly. But, you know, once I say that, I'll do what KG said during the Trinity. No disrespect. No disrespect. Well, he said, Southgate is trash. No disrespect. I went, it's pretty... No, disrespect. I mean, if you say that... It's here goes Dembele. Oh, and their pass doesn't work out either. Gakpo. Ake. Down the left-hand side for the Netherlands. Simons. Well, I think Netherlands have played better than they did against Poland. They were quite disappointing. Their passing was really bad against Poland, particularly the two holding midfielders. And they have changed one of them today, which I think is the right move. Because it just wasn't good. They looked a bit more secure. SLD says, I think you're the worst person on earth, no disrespect. Well, exactly. It's a well-known fact, isn't it? That if you say no disrespect after insulting someone, they can't come back. You're going to go, well, I just said no disrespect. So it doesn't, that completely cancels out. De Vrij went long, looked for Gakpo. Had to be inch perfect. And it wasn't. It was a good run, and it wasn't a bad ball, actually. But Magic Mike's there to sweep it up. To Upamecano. Show says Robbie defends Southgate as if he's the Arsenal. Does he actually? I haven't seen it. I've been literally... because I'm live when he's live. But does he actually say that? What a disgrace. Wait a minute. Frimpong. Round the outside. No, blocked. Saliba, top defender, Eddie. He is proper. Saliba, he's one of the best centre-backs in the world, for me. He's terrific. I think that the thing that Arsenal have to worry about with Saliba is in a few years, does he get itchy feet? I mean, hasn't he just signed a new contract at Arsenal? Not that that means anything nowadays. But you could see Saliba playing for Real Madrid in the future. At least I can. And I don't know if that's because loads of French players play for Real Madrid now. Simons wins it back. Simons takes a shot, scooped up, and he's very unhappy with that one. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, you're gonna get go Southgate, man. Oh, you're gonna get go Southgate. Southgate been linked to me, man. I don't know about that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know what the problem is now? Now, that wait a minute thing is going to take over my entire life. I'm going to be saying that to people that have no idea what I'm talking about. And, that's gonna become a problem. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. God. I've just realised that is going to become a problem. Oh, everyday conversations. Wait a minute. Schouten wins it back. Puts it to Reinders. Plays it through the middle to Simons. Puts it out wide to Memphis Depay. Down the Netherlands' right-hand side. Ball into the box. And that's Saliba again. Of course he's there. And that is £5.40. Wait a minute. 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 Let me just get the check. Wait a minute. Now, can you confirm the first line of your address? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And your PIN is... Wait a minute. I'll just go find it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Thuram. That's going to be a foul by De Vrij. Might be a yellow card, actually, for the Netherlands centre-back. I don't think... There's not a lot in it. He hangs his leg out there and pulls it at the end, last minute. He's not given a yellow card. Maybe that's what the captains say when they're talking to the referee now. You know? I'm going to book you. It's a yellow card. Wait a minute. 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 It is going to become a problem, that. Griezmann stands over the free kick. Or just have a VAR check. Is that a penalty? Is that a penalty? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can you tell me if that's offside? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Griezmann, ball in. Headed away by Virgil van Dijk. And that will go up for a throw-in. It's really poor from Upper Meccano. That's going to be a Netherlands throw. Still 0-0. Had some early opportunities for both sides. I mean, the biggest one, of course, is Rabiot. For some reason, decides to square it to Griezmann, even though there's no reason he should. And they make a complete mess of it. Ake. Depay. Oh, put him in trouble. He put him in trouble. Out to Dembele. Right hand side. He's got space to run into. Cuts it back again. Final pass from France has just not been there. That's not a foul. Oh, Anthony Taylor. That one looked harsh to me. It looked very harsh. Let's see a replay. Wait a minute. Let's see a replay. But I thought it looked harsh. It is a foul. Good decision. Well done, Anthony Taylor. I retract what I said about you. Gareth Southgate, you know, it's Gareth, it's been 60 minutes. We should probably think about making a sub. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We've waited quite a few minutes, Gareth. 65 minutes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. 70 minutes, Gareth. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can you get Calvin over here? He's not in the squad. Wait a minute. We'll give him a call. Wait a minute. Free kick. Griezmann and Dembele stand over it. I think they're going to go for a shot. It looks probably like a Griezmann in-swinger. Javed says, Owen, call Cage in, apologise, call out the referee. Cage, man. Cage. Cage. Griezmann. Is it going to be Dembele? No, Griezmann shoots, hits the ball and goes over. Yep, goes into De Vrij. Wait a minute, it's become the new don't blame. It's the new version of that now. Wait a minute. It's funny now, it'll get not funny very soon. What's happening there? Are they throwing things? Terrible. Takes the corner, doesn't beat the first man. And goes out for a throw. Cody Gakpo looked like he hurt his head. Once again, I'm telling you now, Fleck, this game is made for Wout Weghorst to come on and score another goal. Memphis Depay, once more, in like he did in the last game, has offered a whole bunch of nothing. But it's all right, because he's got the M10 headband on. I mean, and if you want to get technical about it, they said to Kylian Mbappe that any kind of accessory, if you will, had to be the same colour. Memphis Depay's is white, but it's got the gold M10 numbering on it. And that, to me, seems against the bloody rules. Griezmann with the header, saved by Verbruggen. So want to be a stickler for the rules, you know. I mean, Griezmann, he was completely in space, wasn't he? Van Dijk's not happy. He just kind of watches him, Van Dijk. Forget Mbappe coming on and scoring. It's set up for Wout. Veggie. Just like he did in the last game. He's the saviour that, you know, we just didn't know we needed. Schouten, De Vrij. But really, Netherlands, if they'll be thrilled with a point. If they can get a point out of this, it'd be terrific. Is De Vrij. Frimpong. De Vrij. Back to Verbruggen. Tries a pass out wide. That's going to be a throw-in. Bit of a possession as we're just about a minute or so away from half-time. And once again, you'd probably be looking at who's been the most dangerous out of the Netherlands attackers. You'd probably say Gakpo. Oh, he slipped. He slipped. They're claiming handball. Well, if it is handball, then you've got to give him a booking. Because he's literally stopped the ball. And they would have been away. No booking. Play on. Probably going to get to 0-0, I think, at halftime in this. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. It started off very fast, didn't it? And now it's kind of slowed down a smidge. Getting a bit KG and not the person. Cagey. KG. Van Dijk with the header. Gakpo hooks it backward. Flicked on by Simons, but nobody there. And goes to show, really, what little has happened in this half. Only a minute added on. No real stoppages. Ball's been in play quite a lot, but a couple of big chances. No goals. That's about it. Tchouaméni puts out to Koundé. Manages to get past Ake. Cody Gakpo helps cover his man. I remember, of course, the last tournament, the World Cup back in 2022, when we were watching Cody Gakpo play for the Netherlands. We were all talking about him coming to Manchester United, weren't we? What a lifetime ago that feels like. Remember all of those rumours? He's definitely coming. Cody Gakpo, definitely going to happen. There was a story about Louis van Gaal leaving his phone in the toilet and someone picking it up and saying Manchester United had called. Because apparently the club just calls you, not an individual person. But that's half time. Best chance was Rabiot, where he tried to square it to Griezmann for some reason. Griezmann fell over, but so far no goals. Let me know your thoughts about that in the live chat. If you are just joining us too, the breaking news, not going to press the button again, but breaking news this evening is that Michael Olise is not going to Chelsea. Chelsea pulled out from the race to sign the Crystal Palace winger, and then it was reported just mere minutes later that Olise is on his way to Bayern Munich. He has decided he's joining FC Bayern. He's joining up with the likes of Musiala, Harry Kane, and others. And it's going to be playing in the Bundesliga next season up against Xabi Alonso's reigning, defending Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen. So that is a bit of interesting news, some transfer news this evening. If you haven't already, a reminder, this week's episode of The Trinity, powered by Dan Gore, is out. Lots of people really enjoyed that one. It was a bit of a wild one for at least 30 minutes. It was a bit nuts, but yeah, it was good. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it immensely. I hope you guys did too. Like I said, it's one of my favorite shows to do because it is, for all of the bickering and the arguing and the back and forth, it is just three friends bullshitting about Manchester United occasionally. And obviously, I hope KG feels better soon. The flu is the worst. And do you know what it is? Yeah, doing these kind of tournaments, sometimes it will get you sick. I remember during the World Cup in 2022, I got the most ill that I had been in a long time. It's right after, ironically enough, England went out in the quarterfinals. We did a stream in the studio. It was KG, me, Marcel, and I think the iconic Just Josh Media graphics guru Visual Ninja was in there cheering against England. And there was some, flu bug that was going around in that studio because me and KG both got wiped out from it, and it was horrible. I missed the next few days of the World Cup. It was crazy. It was like the next day it was snowing because of course it was in the winter, and I didn't even know that it had snowed for like a couple of days or something until I went outside to check on something, and I slipped over in the snow with the flu. I was just laying there on the ground. Oh, it was terrific. What great memories of that Qatar World Cup. And that is actually something that I did want to sort of talk about, because I don't know if you guys have seen this on social media, but there's a lot of talk, isn't there, about obviously this is the first summer tournament in 3 years, because the last one was the Euros back in 2021. And as good as the Qatar 2022 World Cup was, and everyone sort of said, actually, you know what? Being in the winter, it wasn't that bad. It was a really good tournament, and I really enjoyed it. And all the games at this time, blah, blah, blah. I think once it's back in the summer, Obviously, depending where you are in the world, of course. But once it's back in the summer and you can go and watch it at, like, I don't know, a fan park, or you can go watch it at the pub, or you can go around someone else with your mates or your family, and there's loads of people there out in the sun, it is different, isn't it? It is more enjoyable. It is a lot of fun. You know, with the long nights and the nice weather, it does kind of hit a little bit different as opposed to the winter. You know, and it being dark and it being cold and the weather not being great, it does kind of hit a little bit different, doesn't it? So, yes. And obviously on to, after this, it'll be on to the World Cup in 2026. Let me know in the chat, actually, if you had to pick an early favourite for the World Cup. Very difficult to do right now, obviously. 2 years to go. We don't even know who's qualified and all that kind of stuff. But if you had to pick an early favourite, and maybe this is something we can circle back to when we're doing the World Cup 2026 match views in whatever version of the Osylum / Panenka Studios / whatever it's going to be called at that point, who would your early pick be? Of course, it's going to be in North America. It's going to be host countries of Canada, Mexico, and the United States. It's going to be held from the 11th of June to July 19th in 2026. It's going to be the first that's going to be hosted by 3 nations. First North American World Cup, of course, since 94, when it was in the US then. It's also going to be expanded, even more teams involved in that World Cup. The tournament will be the first to include 48 teams, expanded from 32. So it's going to be, again, a lot of teams. The teams are going to be split up into 12 groups. 12 groups of 4 teams, with the top 2 and the 8 best placed third teams progressing to a new round of 32, as approved by the FIFA Council on March 14, 2023. This is set to be the first expansion and format change since 1998. So yes, 48 teams, 12 groups. That's a lot of football. That's a lot of games, isn't it? It looks like as well, it's not really that much of a change of how long it's going to be. It's still going to last just over a month. So there's just going to be more games to watch, which, you know, I suppose isn't the worst thing in the world, but you do get the impression you might be a bit footballed out by that point. The expansion to 48 teams had already been approved on January 10, 2017, when it was decided the tournament would include 16 groups of 3 teams and 80 matches in total, with the 2 top teams of each group progressing into the round 32. Under this format, the maximum number of games per team would have remained at 7, but each team would have played 1 fewer group match than before. The tournament still would have been completed in 32 days. This format was chosen over 3 other proposals, ranging from 40 to 48 teams, from 76 to 88 match, and from 1 to 4 minimum matches per team. Critics of this format argued the use of 3-team groups, with 2 teams progressing significantly increased the risk of collusion between teams. This prompted FIFA to suggest that penalty shootouts may be used to prevent draws in the group stage, although even then some risk of collusion would remain, and a possibility would emerge of teams deliberately losing shootouts to eliminate a rival. To address these concerns, FIFA continued considering alternative formats. The general idea of expanding the tournament had been suggested as early as 2013 by Michel Platini and also by Gianni Infantino. Opponents of the proposal argued that the number of games played was already at an unacceptable level, that the expansion would dilute the quality of the teams, and that the decision was driven by political rather than sporting concerns, accusing Infantino of using the promise of bringing more countries to the World Cup to win his election. So, yeah, the format isn't that 3-team thing. I think it is still, isn't it? The teams of 4, groups of 4, isn't it? That's what they said. 12 groups of 4 teams, top 2 of each group, and then third place best place teams going in. But man, I mean, if England can't qualify, or a lot of teams can't qualify for that World Cup, I mean, if whoever doesn't qualify, what a shambles! And that's part of it too. As many opponents of it would point out, they would say, well, when you increase the number of teams like that, you're also just ensuring that the big teams get in, don't they? I mean, or is it based on more specific continents and confederations getting involved in it, because if that is the case, that's good. For instance, if you can have more teams from, let's say, Africa involved, or more teams from South America involved, that fits the definition of a World Cup, doesn't it? But at the same time, it is just like, once again, it's like when the discussion comes up about the Club World Cup. I saw someone in the comments the other day kind of pushed back on this and said, no, wait a minute. They said, no, the Club World Cup isn't useless. It's about developing football in other countries. And it's also about people from other countries being able to watch their teams play up against European teams, which they wouldn't normally be able to do. And you have to kind of push back and say, well, I get that. I know, and that'll be the reason that FIFA and UEFA use with that kind of stuff. They'll say, well, see, you can get a team from Europe playing up against a team in Asia. They wouldn't usually be doing that. Or a team in, in Africa, and they wouldn't usually be doing that. Isn't that great? And we're developing footballs in that country. It's great. And you go, well, it would be great if that was your legitimate intention. But let's not pretend here that that is your legitimate intention, because the actual intention here, like with everything in life, let alone football, is what? To make more money. More games equals more money, equals more tickets being sold, equals more people coming into the stadiums, more people buying merchandise, more people watching games, more people buying advertising time on a World Cup football match, more money from the broadcasters being able to say, look, or from FIFA going, look, you're going to have to pay for more games so we can make more money. That's what it's all about. It's all about money. All of the increase in games is just about that. It's not, developing football in other countries or allowing teams to play each other that wouldn't usually play each other is just a byproduct of it, really. It's just about money. That's all it is. When you increase football matches, and of course there'll be people that are for it because again they'll be able to. It's like. With the rules recently, I don't know if you guys have seen this too, about the idea of FIFA and UEFA putting in rules about a Premier League match taking place in the United States. And they're going to be great for American football and for soccer in the United States to let that happen. And of course, if you're in the United States and you could watch a Premier League match, I'm sure you'd be thrilled about it. I'm sure you'd be really happy, because the only way to do that if you're from the US is to come over to the UK and watch a game in the Premier League at the natural home ground. But at the same time, the byproduct would be an increase of exposure in the United States when it comes for sporting footballing purposes. The only exposure they would really care about is the exposure that can make them more money. Again, it's making the sport more popular so they can actually have more money when it comes to broadcast rights. And again, they can charge a really high ticket fee. It can become a very pricey ticket and they can make more money. That's just what it will all be about. It's just all about money. That is the be-all and end-all of it. I know, obviously, the NFL, they come over to the UK a couple of times a year now, I think, don't they? And play NFL games over here, usually at Wembley Stadium, or sometimes now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it? And I don't know what the reaction to that is in the United States. If you are from the US, you can let me know in the chat about that. But really, once again, it's out of an attempt to make sure that the NFL gets more exposure in the UK, because the UK market's a big market, or the European market's a big market. So if they can have games over here, it's not even necessarily just about the ticket. It's more like, well, if it gets more popular, then again, we can make more money. That's what it will be about. And that's just it. And I know it's like cry me a river for the multi-millionaires that play the games, but there is a tipping point. Riri says they don't care over here, Owen. Well, there you go. But the intention is to expand the game to make more money. And there's been lots of talk, hasn't there, in the NFL? I do know that for years about possibly getting a UK-based franchise, whether it be some kind of London-based team or something. I don't know. But yeah, that is interesting. As far as who's going to win that World Cup, because I just rambled on for ages. What are people saying? Motto said Brazil, Argentina. George said Argentina. Jason says Brazil with Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, and Endrick. My style advisor said Spain. Show said Portugal. Nobody saying England. Well, to be honest, it depends who the coach is at that point. If we got That is the wild thing about England, isn't it? Legitimately, if we did actually have a good coach, I would be, anyway, a bit more optimistic. Because we do have a very young squad that's very good. But if it's Gareth, then not a chance. No way. If it was another manager, I don't know. But then I don't know who that next England manager would be. I mean, they're saying this is Southgate's last tournament. Who his replacement would be. I mean, I know for a while they've said like Eddie Howe, but I just don't see him leaving. I don't know about you. I don't see him leaving Newcastle for the England job. So I don't know if they try and do like an internal one, perhaps. I'm not sure who that would be. I mean, you can let me know your prediction on who that next England manager could be. Maybe it's someone completely out of left field that we haven't even thought about. But then also that comes to the FA. I can't lie, I don't have like a ton of faith when it comes to the FA even getting a managerial selection right either. You know, historically they've not been good at that too. Players are coming back out on the pitch for the second half. I get my timer ready. I tell you what I do need to do. I need to make a note because, of course, once we get to the final group stage games, we're going to have 2 games on at the same time. So I'll need double scoreboards. Mbappe might come on in the second half. As we wait for the second half to kick off. Any subs at half time? Any subs? I don't think so. SLD says Graham Potter. It could be. I mean, you never know. You know what I am looking forward to though. I live for the day. I know he's not at the moment because he's the Fenerbahce manager, but I live for the day that Jose Mourinho goes to an international tournament. Second half's underway. I think 1, he'd be box office, and 2, I think he is at this point in his career just set up for international football, particularly international tournament football. Shithousing yourself through a game, you know, getting through extra time, not being the best team, but kind of whirling your way through. Yeah, that is ready for him. International football, Jose Mourinho. Be interesting to see how it goes for him in Turkey at Fenerbahce. As France, Upamecano has the ball. Dembele goes up for a throw-in. People forget actually as well, Jose was really close, according to him and according to reports. He was really close to becoming the England manager after he got sacked by Chelsea the first time. I think if reports are correct, that's just before Capello became the England manager, just after Steve, had been fired. Seemingly, Jose Mourinho, he thought about it, and then he ended up going to Inter Milan. Could you imagine that? Jose as the England manager, circa sort of going into the 2010 World Cup. Bear in mind, at that point, he'd just won the Champions League with Inter Milan, was on his way to Real Madrid. That could have been complete different direction for his career. Some of his more iconic and biggest accomplishments would have never happened. He wouldn't have done the Champions League win with Inter. He wouldn't have done that running around at the new camp when the sprinklers come on. He wouldn't have gone to Real Madrid and won a La Liga title with Real Madrid during the sort of Pep Barca domination era, whilst they had Messi and Xavi and Iniesta. That is a alternate timeline. But then if he'd won the World Cup with England, could you imagine? at that South Africa World Cup with the Jabulani and the Vuvuzelas. Griezmann reverses it, gives it to Rabiot. But to be honest, England 2010, like, they were awful. Really poor. That World Cup was such a farce. I know people talk about the Lampard ball over the line thing, but you had, I think Rio Ferdinand was meant to be the captain coming into that World Cup, and then he did his knee, so it didn't happen. Ledley King was taken, but I think he could only end up playing like 1 game or 2 games because of his problems. Who did we have? I think we had Jamie Carragher in that squad that came out of retirement for it. I think even Capello asked Paul Scholes for that World Cup if he wanted to come out of retirement, and he said no. I remember watching that first game, England-USA, Rob Green throws it in the back of the net. Oh. Goes out for a throw into the Netherlands. Goes to find out that his finger has been pointing the wrong way like that for the best part of like the last 15 years or so. I don't know if you've seen that video of Rob Green. His finger, he broke it, and for the longest time didn't get anything done to it. So his pinky is like, I can't, like that. It's over here, like in that direction. It is incredible. Google it. I mean, make sure you've got a bit of a sensitive, you don't have a sensitive stomach. But yeah, it's all the way out there. And he goes, yeah, that happened to me, I think he says like 15 years ago or something. You go, 15? He go, he was playing for England with his finger pointing the wrong way. It makes sense. And he was like, yeah, sometimes I'd have to tape it. Eventually they made me special gloves. So like he had like 4 digits. You know what I mean? Like thumb, finger, 2 fingers. Like they get so it's basically his hand turned into a paddle. It's a really wild story. Frimpong tackles Theo Hernandez. That's a free kick to France. No wonder he was throwing the ball in the back of the net. His little finger was at a right angle to his hand. Saliba. Upamecano. I bet he made him a quite quick swimmer, though. If he had that, I mean, it wasn't fused. It was kind of there. But if he wore the gloves. Dembele. Koundé. Ball in. Hooked away by Van Dijk. Dembele shoots. Blocked. Simons. Depay went for a flick. I don't know if I went the right way. And now Netherlands a bit of possession. Dumfries. Dumfries passes it into Depay, holds it up, gives it to Frimpong. Tries it, but it's a good pass actually. It's not going to be a foul, is it? Oh, it's a waste. You didn't need to do it. He didn't need to do the foul, but gives it anyway. Upamecano's down. Chris said, just Googled it, never seen it. Honestly, it's nuts. It is. And he had a full-on career with it, too. Crazy. Once again, Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted saying Bayern have reached an agreement on Michael Olise's salary and contract, deal in place on the player side. Olise rejects Palace new deal proposal. Chelsea and Newcastle wanted him, but he's joining Bayern. Deal to be completed soon with Palace, as David Ornstein reported. So it's not a here we go just yet, with the player photoshopped in the new kit. But, yes. Oh, look at Matisse. Look at Matisse. Look at him. Look at Matisse. I remember, yeah, look, well done, Flex. Flex is quote tweeting him because Matisse, what was this, like a week ago, was saying, where's his favourite club at Man United? And Matisse is saying, sounds like hold that. And now he's saying, oh, it's too much money, so we, what does he say? Olise wants 300k this week, but didn't want 300k the last 4 weeks we've been negotiating for him. The wage demand just came up today. The same day Bayern beat us to his signature. Sounds like we got rejected. Don't be embarrassed. Champions League versus Europa Conference League. Can't wait to see Olise's Bayern contract. Matisse. Reinders. Simons. Ake. And at least that's the positive thing for us on the Olise point of view, is because we were very much sort of fringe interested. You know what I mean? We were interested, but we hadn't spoken to him. We hadn't spoken to Palace or anything like that. Like Chelsea and Newcastle and Bayern were way closer than us. We're like, wow, we were interested, but whatever. Free kick to the Netherlands. Let's have a look, see if this was a free kick. Yep, free kick. Foul by Dembele on Xavi Simons. Do you know what? It's kind of wild that, like, Olise had the choice to go to Chelsea or Bayern, and both were coaches that I suppose technically were in the Championship. I know Burnley had just gone down, Leicester had just come up, but like that. Maresca or Company, where do you want to go? Champions League or Conference League? Memphis Depay over the free kick. Headband and all, number 10 in the middle. This is his moment. He was a free kick specialist. That's what he was built up to be when he came to United, wasn't it? Free kick specialist. Scores free kicks. Here we go. Memphis hits the wall. It's nothing more than a letdown, isn't it? When you've got a free kick and there's the big anticipation, the crowd's going crazy, and it just hits the wall. It's like with Ronaldo's one and all that. The stadium starts rumbling. The player stands over it. They do the big breath. And then just goes into the ball. You go, oh. It's a hubba bubba moment, isn't it? Flavour for 5 seconds. There's a block by Dembele. Actually came off the arm a bit. Magic Mike. A ball out wide to Koundé. Hooked away. Oh, flick on. That's going to be an offside. Eric Ten Hag says United are still shit with negotiations. Olise gives me Mane vibe and will drastically change the attacking line wherever he goes. There's no doubt that, and again, this is the thing that needs to be explicitly said. There is no doubting Michael Olise is a top player, and I think he will do well wherever he went. But we as Manchester United fans need to not get really upset and crying when we miss out on a player that we were really not that in for in the first place. We were interested in Olise, but as I mentioned, we were not at the stage that Chelsea and Newcastle were, and Bayern obviously are, when we were making contact with him. And again, the media do this, and then we as fans get upset. Ball in! Oh, Rabiot skies it. Where we go, yeah, we have a freak out, and we're like, oh, we're missing out on players. I can't believe we missed out on this player that, like I said 3 weeks ago, we all said it'd be nice to have, but let's make sure we get that centre back and striker first. Make sure we do that. I think we're very scarred, aren't we, as Man United fans? We're very scarred. And also, we're scarred, and also we just want. You know what it is? We're scarred, and we just want things to go back to how they used to be, don't we? We realise how spoilt we were for over 20 years with Sir Alex, winning league titles, winning trophies, winning more often than not, and I just want it to go back to how it used to be. It's like that scene from Mean Girls. You know, that girl when she's at the back of the room going, when we used to bake a cake and everyone used to be happy and we all used to be friends. And someone shouts like, she doesn't even go here. It's a bit like that with United. You're not even a United fan. I just want us to be happy again. That's what I just want. And, yeah. We'll get there one day, my friends. We will. What does Thor say in Infinity War? The sun will shine on us again one day. One day. I don't know if it'll be soon, but one day the sun will shine on us again. Ball through. Conte. Tchouaméni. Oh, my word. That's going to go out for a throw-in. Is there a throw-in? A throw-in?
Poor, and I mean poor.
He had a shot and it went out for a throw.
Absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful.
I mean, it must be said, for a game that I was really excited about, it has left quite a bit to be desired, hasn't it? This one. Hopefully we get something. Just get something a little bit special. A little bit of magic. I wonder if this soundboard has any Ali McCoy sounds. That would be stretching it. Probably not. No, it doesn't. I didn't think so. I mean, this soundboard has everything. I mean, it's pretty impressive. What if I just type in France? What happens with that? Shoots, and that's wide. Some French stuff. I mean, it's mainly national anthem. I'm not going to play that. But shot goes wide by, I think it was Dembele. Show says, but then Thor got himself a new axe. We don't have that luxury. Well, maybe, you know, he had to go get himself a new weapon. Manchester United need to get themselves a new weapon. We're still in the process of that. And we'll be linked to other weapons that we weren't really actually in for. And the other Avengers will get very upset that we haven't actually sorted out our weapon yet. But one day we will get the new weapon. I mean, the analogy is being stretched to its very limits. But you get my gist. I mean, is that obstruction by Xavi Simons? I mean, he was just on the ground. The ball was sort of under him and the player's trying to get it out of him. I think eventually he did give a free kick for obstruction. I tell you what, Simons looks like he's in tears nearly. Doesn't look happy at all. I didn't look happy. Still 0-0. 61 minutes gone. Netherlands 0. France 0. Long ball. Oh, it's a good touch by Dembele. That's going to go out for a corner. Yes, it is. Of course, as it stands, both teams would be on 4 points. Who's going to be taking this for France? Les Bleus. Are they going to go in front? Ball in. Oh, nearly landed on Griezmann's head. Van Dijk gets it away though. Dembele, ball in. Oh, headed just over the bar by Tchouaméni. Nearly. They're getting closer. Maybe De Vrij just does enough. But it's a good header by Tchouaméni. Look at it. Gets off the ground. It's just over the bar. Brendan says, anyone else think the Euros have been boring so far? I wouldn't say it's been boring so far. There's been quite a few really exciting games. More often than not, the games have been exciting. This one's not been certainly one of the best by any stretch of the imagination. England games have largely been pretty dull. But as I said yesterday, that's because our coach, the height of excitement to him is wearing a cream blazer or jumper. Or his way to try and inject some excitement into the game is bring on Colin Gallagher. Well, that's exciting. Here's Rabiot. I mean, there's that clip, isn't there, of Gareth Southgate when during his playing days. And he goes, well, you know, I like maybe a couple of beers with mates at the weekend, but mainly in the week I just drink water. Go on. Getting wild, man, aren't you, Gareth? Good. But they got a good shape out of possession, the Netherlands. France struggling to break them down. Although chances will continue to come. Of course, they've got players to bring on. Quality players too. It's not as if they struggle for options. Thuram. Theo Hernandez. Saliba. That's a good touch. Good passing. Oh, a little back heel. Nearly there. But it's got to fall to Conte. To Griezmann. Oh, it's a good save by Verbruggen. Just spreads himself. Wow. Gets a final touch to it. But I tell you what, that pass by N'Golo Conte was something else. Take a look at this. Little flick. Conte sees him. Gives it to Griezmann. And Verbruggen. Yeah, good save. Look at it. Schmeichel-esque. It's not the best first touch. Gives the keeper an opportunity. And he's once again, Griezmann's falling down. Apparently, every single time Griezmann touches the ball in the box, he falls to the floor. But it's a good save by Verbruggen. But another big chance for Les Bleus. But still 0-0. Ball in. Headed away. Upamecano. Tchouaméni's going to have a shot, it looks like. Goff. Pinged off a couple of people. Frimpong. He had the ball, but he got dispossessed. Conte. Theo Hernandez. We haven't seen him doing as many sort of cutbacks or runs down the left-hand side as we saw in the first game. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they do decide to bring on Mbappe or they leave it. I mean, at the moment, they don't have to. Conte's into the box. Ball across goal. Well, Howard, poor ball. Poor ball by Dembele. Do you know what the thing is with N'Golo Conte? This actually is one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough. Obviously, look, we know his coverage of the ground, his ability to win the ball back, his ability to recover the ball, and defensively how good he is. But what doesn't get talked about enough with Conte is his actual ball progression or his ability to play the ball or find passes or arrive in the final third and actually score goals is actually pretty quality, isn't it? Even then, it's a good pass to Griezmann, and most people just take the shot, but he goes, no, I see it, there's the pass. Because there was a period of time at Chelsea, I believe it was under Maurizio Sarri, where Sarri was like, no, I don't want you to be defensive midfielder. I want you to be an advanced player, which I never really, it was not Conte's best position, but he brought in Jorginho, so I got it. But he can do everything. He can. Dembele cuts inside. Left foot over the bar. But he's a much more complete midfielder than people give him credit for. They just think of, they look at the distance and winning the ball back. But he is a very complete player. Dembele's end product is the same as it was, by the way, in the first game, which is non-existent. Gets in good positions, twists and turns, end product, over the bar or a poor cross. But realistically, they should be what? 2-0 up, maybe? France. Ball put forward. Here's Cody Gakpo. Gakpo is going to take on Koundé. Ball in! Oh, it's nearly there. Memphis Depay just threw himself at it. Couldn't get a touch. Reinders. Here's Gakpo again. He's probably the most dangerous out of anyone. Good goal. Oh, I thought it was a shot. It's in! It's in! The Netherlands have scored! Xavi Simons, we said he's a player. We said he's one to watch. And it was a good save initially by Magic Mike. But Xavi Simons has scored. I think he's hurt himself, by the way. I think he's injured. But just when you thought that France were just turning the screw and they were going to score. Oh, wait a minute. 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 It's going to be offside. The flag is up. And Simons, he's got tears in his eyes. Let's have a look at this. Gakpo again, the most dangerous. I tell you what, Memphis Depay does really well. It's a great turn. Are they giving that as... No. No. He's not in the eye line and interfering. You can't take that away. Surely not. That'd be way too harsh. It should be a goal. He's not interfering that much. Magic Mike ain't diving. He's not going to get to it. Exactly. Jermaine Genius is right. Magic, Emmanuel, he wasn't diving. He wasn't even interested in going for it. It's not a case of he was blocked off. I think they should give it. They've got to give it. First of all, I've been cussing him in the game. I think Memphis Depay turns and shoots really well. It's a good save from the keeper. And then Simons takes the strike. And then you can't call that off. That's common. This is a common sense one again. I understand interference in the vision of the goalkeeper and all that kind of stuff, but they can't. And at least they're having the conversation about it. He's talking to the captains, Anthony Taylor. I think they should give it. I don't think he's interfering. If you want to get super technical, then maybe you could say he was. But again, I think it's a common sense one, this, for me. It's common sense. And if you're taking this long, it's not clear and obvious error. But the problem is they did flag it as offside. So if they're going to remain with a decision on the pitch... What's going on? Look at Van Dijk. Check over, it says. Check over. So what? What we doing? Yeah, we got someone saying check over, but it doesn't look over. I've ruled it out. Nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Honestly.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful.
The keeper doesn't even dive. He's not getting anywhere near it anyway. The ball flashes past him. So it wasn't even up for debate that he was going to dive over to it. What a crock of shit. Again, are you even watching the game, VAR? Let's have another look at it. He's not even diving. He's not getting anywhere near it. You see the replay again. Look. Look at this. Nowhere near it. He's nowhere near it. How can you disallow that? That is a joke. What an absolute joke of a decision. The more you watch it back, the only reason I'm now freaking out about it, because I didn't see that replay a couple of times. The ball flashes past him. He's not even attempted to dive. It's miles in the corner. He's getting nowhere near it. What a joke of a decision. UEFA, hang your heads in absolute shame. Protecting the former world champions, protecting someone that's going to get far in the tournament. What of a disgraceful decision. And I tell you what, that's the problem with VAR. That's why I say get rid of technology that's in the hand of humans because they don't know what they're doing. If you can automate the process, i.e. offsides or goal line technology, then it works. But when you've got shitty officials using technology, it doesn't matter. They're still shitty officials. It's not the technology's fault. That's not the technology's fault. That's the officials' fault because they don't know what they're doing. Rubbish. Disgraceful decision. Look at this again. I get that he's offside. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see that graphic that he's offside. I can see him with 2 eyes. Stevie Wonder in the basement could see he's offside. But that's not the problem. Oh. And when you see it again in real time behind the goal, you see he's nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. The goalkeeper's not even diving. And I'm a goalkeeper. And I'll be the strongest advocate I possibly can be. Shocking decision. And the thing is, that can be the difference between the Netherlands having a more favourable draw in the next round and possibly going further in the tournament than France. Heaven forbid that France get a shitty draw because they finish second in the group. Rubbish. And it's an English. Who's on VAR? I know Anthony Taylor's there. Who's on VAR for this game? VAR, Netherlands, France. Let's have a look. Stuart Atwell. Of course. Big bit of controversy. Probably the most controversial moment in the tournament. And it's English officials letting everyone down again. I shouldn't be shocked. And I'm not. Before this, the most controversial thing was the handball in the Belgium game. But this is much worse. Of course. Just that little bit of Premier League magic there. That's what we get to have to deal with every single week. I hope you're watching this, all you Dutch fans, and you're going, hey, what's it like to watch the Premier League every single week? What's it like to have a team that you support play in the Premier League every single week? There you go. Have a little taste of that one. Have a little taste of that. Every single week in the Premier League, every single game. It's baffling. The Premier League, where rules don't matter unless you pay the refs, basically. Who cares about laws? Who cares about rules and common sense? But don't worry, we'll have Howard Webb in about 6 months' time apologise to you. That'll make you feel much better. And go, Howard Webb, he'll come out, he'll do the U-Bank. That's what he'll do.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Thank you. Honestly. What a crock of shit. Well, at least we had some drama in the game. Ridiculous. Dean says overacting, in my opinion. Well, I'm sorry, Dean. You know, that's how I feel about the situation. I will sit here and press buttons instead.
I've had enough!
And it's the build-up. It's the problem. That's what VAR's been for the longest time. And the real frustrating thing is, for the most part in this tournament, I feel that there hadn't been that many controversies. As I said, the biggest one was the Belgium one. Now I hope Netherlands win. Free kick. Are the stripes on France's kit red? I didn't even realise that. Memphis Depay is going to stand over this. That's true. Loads of people are just saying about how basically Premier League VAR or English Premier League fans or whatever, and lots of people saying, "Oh, Stuart Atwell." It just had to be on the biggest stage possible, didn't it? Goes to show, best league in the world. Depay heads it away, but at least it gives on the biggest stage possible, just shows the Premier League bin off English refs. We buy, the best players, the best coaches of all nationalities from across the globe. We get all of these people to come in, apart from referees. We don't do that for referees. Memphis Depay, come on, Weghorst! Come on, Veggie! This is your moment. This is your moment, Veggie.
You can do it!
Come on.
Acknowledge me.
Ball in. Oh, Weghorst was offside. I've gone fully Dutch. We're now cheering on Holland to win this. And to be fair, again, criticised Memphis Depay in the last game. I thought he did do better in this one. And he was really unlucky for that goal too, because he spun the defender, had the shot, and the keeper made a good save. Come on, Weghorst. This is your moment again. Right the wrong. Injustice. Upper Meccano. Final 10 minutes. This is his moment. Just got to believe. Teo Hernandez. Rabiot. Tchouameni. And I tell you what, you feel bad for Xavi Simons too. He scored and he got taken off straight away. What a moment it would have been for him. That's going to be a dive. Conte went down, dived. Weghorst lays it off. Oh, it just wasn't the best pass. Towards, I think that's Wijnaldum. Oh no, it was Dumfries. Griezmann. Kante, surrounded by orange shirts. Here is Weghorst. Reinders. Ake. Is there going to be any more drama? Any more late Weghorst magic? Kenny's favourite player. He'll always bring up Weghorst in a full view. Kenny. Weghorst. Oh, it's a poor pass by Ake. Griezmann. Puts it out to Koundé. Kingsley Coman. Like the most successful player ever, basically. Wasn't it this like the first season for ages that he hadn't won a trophy or something? Like his record of winning trophies is actually unbelievable. Kingsley Coman. Going to be a goal kick. Scored a bunch of goals in Qatar, didn't he, Giroud? He's on his way to, was it LAFC? I think. Or is it Los Angeles? Or is it LA Galaxy? He's on his way to the MLS. Eight minutes remain. For Bruggen. Now, of course, both sides will be desperate not to lose. Dumfries. Okay. Well, at least there will be time added on because of the lengthy VAR. See, even the cameramen know. They see it just then. They just had to put a shot of Weghorst on. They know. They know the situation. Okay. Little flick on. Blocked. Nice little layoff. Well done, Weghorst. Reinders. Poor pass. And here comes Rabiot. Theo Hernandez. Tchouaméni. Any more late drama? Surely. Koeman. Theo Hernandez. Tchouaméni. I don't know why. Something in me just says I feel like there's a late France winner. And that's not me sort of manifesting it. It's just, you could see it, couldn't you? The drama. Kingsley Coman. Tchouaméni. Theo Hernandez. Everyone's behind the ball for the Netherlands. Look at this. What's that? Is that a back six? They've got 6 behind the ball in a straight line. That is pretty wild. The spirit of Jose. Passes out to Tchouaméni. But if they both on 4 points, which they would be at the moment, both would be near enough through. 4 points is what it takes. Then it's just a case of determining which position you're going to go in. But nerves are being tested at the moment. Tchouaméni. Rabiot, Tchouaméni. I just hope this next game doesn't now just sort of peter out a little bit, which it could. Goes down, Van Dijk, no foul. A long ball. Dumfries going to chase it. Cleared by Saliba. Easy. Theo Hernandez. I feel this game actually might peter out a bit now. Both seem to be a bit cautious. Theo Hernandez. Conte. Out to Koundé. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting an Mbappe appearance this evening, which I think most people expected. I mean, there were reports, weren't there, that he might miss the rest of the group stages. On the bench, Giroud flicks, headed back. Oof. That's going to go out for a throw-in. It was a good ball, actually, towards Giroud. Just headed it back into the path of Griezmann. Oh, good look at that turn. Well done by Rabiot. Theo Hernandez cuts it back. Griezmann towards Koundé. Ball in. Cleared by Van Dijk. And that's going to be a free kick. Foul by Tchouaméni on Wijnaldum. It was just a foul. And it was Rabiot down. It was a really good turn by him. Look at this. Just went past Dumfries and Dumfries did catch him. Might be a bit of a dead leg, perhaps. I was just that ball over the top. Headed back by Giroud. Nearly towards Griezmann on the penalty spot. Just managed to clear it in the end. There's Arsene Wenger. Thierry Henry, Arsene Wenger. David Dean next to him. And so there's going to be quite a bit of stoppage time, seemingly. Fabio Capello next to him, Clarence Seedorf. He hasn't aged at all, has he? Fabio Capello looks exactly the same. But there'll be lengthy stoppage time. Of course, there was a bit with the VAR, and now with this injury. Dumfries pass back to Verbruggen. To Dumfries. Giroud went for that. Oh, he's through. I tell you what, Rabiot again. He's into the box. This is the chance. Ball across goal. Oh, wasn't the right place. Griezmann will collect it. I thought maybe just a little bit of late drama. Cody Gakpo, good defensive work. But just for a second, you thought Rabiot was going to be through. I'm not sure why that was. I mean, there was no one really there. I was thinking maybe just get into the box, take a shot, test the goalkeeper. Look at Mbappe, he doesn't look pretty happy. Again, yeah, he's definitely not going to come on, is he? That's going to be a throw into France. Any word yet on how much stoppage time this is going to be? This might be one of the longest stoppages of the tournament thus far, I think. Rabiot gives it back to Tchouaméni. Upamecano. Koundé. Kingsley Coman. I mean, if that was England, yeah, and that got ruled out for us, I'd be absolutely livid. And if it was for England, I would be like, we got away with one so much. Because only 5 minutes. I thought it'd be much longer than that. Looks like everyone wants this game to end. Upamecano. That's a good pass. Coman cuts it back. Koundé gives it back to Conte. That's blocked. It's going to be a corner. And look, who's defending? Wout Weghorst. Who else? Top notch. A true number 9. He does very well, actually. Corner for France. Saliba, Upamecano, Tchouaméni, all in the box. Rabiot, Giroud, of course. There's some height in there. Verbruggen punches. Wijnaldum wins the header. Veerman loses it. Griezmann, reverse pass. Koundé. Ball in the box, headed by De Vrij. Dumfries goes down. He says, I want a free kick. Referee's not going to give it. Throw into France. Rabiot. Free ball in by Teo Hernandez. Oof. Javid says defensive forward, holding striker. Yes, Fox in the box. It's just the wrong box, his own box. A register forward. A register striker. Box-to-box striker. Free kick to the Netherlands. De Vrij. 2.5 minutes remain of stoppage time. And that might be all of the drama in this one, I think. Sometimes you have to start thinking about the future games. Look, Verbruggen's just standing on the ball. The French players aren't pressing it. Both teams just giving up. Look, both teams just don't want to do anything now. They're just like, oh, we'd rather not. We're just going to pass it side to side. Not risk anything. Weghorst. Good hold-up play. True number 9. Reinders. Dumfries. Ball across goal. Koundé heads out for a throw-in. Is there late drama? Will there be a Weghorst chance? He's done it before in the World Cup. He's done it in this tournament. Could he do it again? Oh, and that's a bad pass, and that's going to be a goal kick. And that might be all she wrote. Saliba. Tchouaméni. So this could be our first 0-0 of the tournament. Saliba. Rabiot. Upamecano. Upamecano again. To Tchouaméni. Theo Hernandez. He's been more quiet than he was in the first game. He was really impressive in the first one. That's a ball over the top. So I'm going to go out for a goal kick. I think so, yes. And when he takes this goal kick, that's going to be game over. Yeah, Mbappe, I feel the same. Verbruggen with a goal kick. And that's it. It's 0-0. Netherlands can maybe feel a bit hard done by. Maybe they could feel that actually we had a goal disallowed. France will maybe feel a little bit hard done by in the sense they had chances that they missed. But we get a 0-0 in this tournament. A point each, and they're both level on points heading into the final game in their group. It's just Danny's been a member for 5 months. Appreciate 5 months support. Says, why do French people eat snails? Because they don't like fast food. Well, on that note, Danny, big up to everyone that's been watching. Be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. More content on the horizon over the weekend. There's going to be a special Flex and KG bite-sized thing with transfers coming out tomorrow morning, so keep an eye on that. I'll be back tomorrow for another match view. And in the meantime, have a good evening. I'm out of here. Peace.